Most of us have seen both film and theater performances, but I bet you've not seen a breakdown of the exact same scene shot both in front of a camera and performed live on stage to see what exactly is so different. Well, that's exactly what I'm gonna do today by breaking down these 3 scenes. I'm Tristan Spohn, a professional actor that has appeared on Netflix, Peacock, Paramount+, and while I'm definitely not a theater expert, I did go to a performing arts high school. I got my start with leading roles in theater productions, so this is just going to explore a little bit more in depth what the differences might be from somebody that has actually made money as an actor. Let's start with our first scene from Wicked with the musical theater version of this scene.
Very first part. I know. Let's each tell the other something we've never told anyone. I'll go first. Fiero and I are going to be married.
Ali Mazzi playing Glenda is doing a great job of really making the space hers, and you'll notice that every single line has a corresponding movement attached to it, versus Marcy Dodd, who's playing Alphaba, has a lot of really great stillness. When you're first being trained in theater, you're very much so taught that you need to lead the audience's focus to where they need to pay attention, so that no matter where your eyes go, you're being led back to the most important person. And that's very much so what Marcy Dodd is doing in this, where she has a certain stillness so as not to take the focus away from Glenda.
He's asked you already? Oh, he doesn't know yet. Now you tell me a secret.
In theater, it's very rare for you to actually stare at your scene partner through the entire time. So you have to cheat towards your light. And that's why a lot of times actors will like dramatically open up, do an open turn so that everybody can see how they're feeling in every given moment. That's why a lot of theater actors that get into film have to actually practice grounding themselves in the person across from them, because it tends to be more self-indulgent when they first get started. Let's now watch Ariana Grande.
Father began to worry that she might come out
Green.
So, it's my fault.
What? No. That was the milk flower's fault.
You already see a lot more stillness with Ariana Grande than we saw in Ali Mazzi. I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. My apologies if not. She has a lot more stillness in her close-ups because she has to, right? You would get overstimulated very quickly if every line you're like going super big with your movements. Whereas Ariana Grande still has the theatricality that Galinda as a whole has, but it's more of a this than it is a this. Alphaba, because we get to actually have shots dedicated to her, gets to show a lot more of the internal world of her character.
Exactly what they need. And even in your case. Never mind. Yeah.
Okay.
Gonna put these right back on here.
With this, Ariana Grande, she did just add a little bit of her own thing. It's fine for the purpose of film because everyone gets the exact same experience, right? Versus with theater, everyone is paying to see the show that everyone else has seen. So there is this expectation of consistency. So you very much so have to hit your marks exactly.
Follow my lead, and yes, indeed, you will be.
It would be very easy to film them in a couple of wides, but I really love that the filmmakers made sure the camera wasn't just capturing a theater show, but in many ways the camera becomes the third scene partner for them, and every single movement is motivated. Ariana's performance. It's incredible. I thought she was phenomenal in this movie. She felt so at home. She had the perfect amount of theatricality and groundedness, in my opinion.
Know the slang you've got to know, so let's start, cause you've got an awfully long way to go.
I bet the way they filmed this was in like 20-second chunks, which I'm sure made it extremely difficult for the actors because it's not like you get to have the momentum like you do in theater of just starting in one place and letting yourself go on the ride. You'll have action called and you have to act as though you've been singing this song for the last minute and a half, even though you're starting from the midpoint. On for our next scene. This is not the exact same scene, but we are going to be looking at how Andrew Garfield adapts his performance both on stage and on film. This way we can see how the same actor can change his technique to approach the different acting styles.
I'm leaving, I already have.
Please listen, stay, this is really hard, we have to talk.
We are talking, aren't we? Now please shut up, okay?
Bastard sneaking off while I'm flat out here, that's low. If I could get up now, I'd beat the holy shit out of you. Did you take pills? How many?
No pills, bad.
No, you aren't pregnant, I called your gynecologist.
I'm seeing a new...
We're already seeing a lot more projection in this. So you can see how this feels very performative in terms of, again, not like bad, but in the sense of they're projecting to make sure everybody hears them and they're in some ways telegraphing with their voice. And what I mean is in film, we talk a lot about telegraphing with your facial expressions, right? Where you're making it so obvious to the audience everything that you're feeling. And that can make a film performance bad, but you need to telegraph in theater. Really making it clear by overemphasizing the emotion that they feel so that they can compensate for the fact that everyone is pretty far back so they're not able to see all of the little nuances on their face.
You can love someone and fail them. You can love someone and not be able to.
You can, theoretically, yes, a person can. Maybe an editorial you can love Lewis, but not you. Specifically you, I don't know. I think you are excluded from that general category.
With theater, you have to live in the script breakdown. They are very much so emphasizing specific words, where when you first start breaking down a script, a lot of times you're taught to circle or underline the most important words in the script. And then that reminds you, I need to emphasize this word specifically. And he's very much so doing that with you.
A person could theoretically love, and maybe many do, but we both know now you can't.
I do.
You can't even say it.
I love you, Pryor.
I repeat, who cares?
This is so scary. I want this to stop, to go back.
We have reached a verdict, Your Honor. This man's heart is deficient.
This is great on a stage because you're really filling the space, but in film, this would be so overstimulating with them just yelling. Almost all of them are like almost screaming their lines, which would feel a little bit melodramatic very quickly if this was on film. Now, let's go ahead and see the screen acting of Andrew Garfield in this scene that was actually deleted from The Amazing Spider-Man 2, but then went sort of viral on TikTok anyway, just because his performance itself was so strong.
It's me, Peter, and I'm sorry.
You're not my father.
I am your father, Peter. And I want you just to listen.
My father is dead.
Peter, listen to me.
He's dead. Who are you?
I had to disappear, and I'm sorry. Understand that. I had to disappear to keep you safe. Keep you safe. I don't...
What? What? Say it. Say what you want to say. What do you want to say? Where you been?
He's always really great about vocally committing. With this, we actually get to have some contrast, which I really like. In the theater scene, everybody was kind of competing to make sure that they were heard. And so everyone was just yelling and screaming over each other. Versus this, we got to see more of the contrast between the quiet in the beginning to now him going after him. But what strikes me is he's just so emotionally available and willing to give 120%. And this is why a lot of times theater actors have such an easy time translating to film, but not as easy for a film actor to translate to theater, because it is way easier to bring someone down to where they need to be than to push someone up to where they need to be. But you also have to then recreate it for 12 hours straight a lot of the times while having to have proper continuity while having to be mindful of a lot of technical aspects such as the frame that you have to play with. There are different things that make one easier and more difficult than the other.
Gwen died for nothing. I can't come to terms with the world like that.
I don't know. I don't know how to go on without her.
You don't. You take her with you.
He has a really great blend of internal and external. I tell a lot of actors you don't want your scene to be too internal, where you're just focused on like what your character is experiencing, how they feel reflecting on the past, because it can feel disconnected between the person that you're talking to. And you also don't want it to be so external where it's just focused on the person across from you along with the environment, because then it can feel a little bit less grounded. He gets to really have more of that internal nuance in this in a way that obviously we didn't really get when we looked at the theater performance. Okay, and now finally, one more example. We're gonna have the same scene from Legally Blonde. And this one is a little different because the movie came out first before then being adapted to something that was more theatrical. So we'll start with the film version of the scene.
I'm going to show you a little maneuver that my mother taught me in junior high. In my experience, it has a 98% success rate of getting a man's attention, and when used appropriately, it has an 83% rate of return on a dinner invitation.
The way her eyebrows are almost dancing with the scene is very theatrical. I think this is where obviously tone makes a lot of sense, where as a whole, this movie is a very whimsical feeling tone to it.
I think I dropped something on the floor that I need to pick up. So you bend and snap. See? Come on, you try. Bend and snap. Okay.
That's one of the more theatrical scenes that I've seen. It's very over the top and a little campy. A lot of early 2000s comedy is very big and more in the range of sitcom, so it makes sense why this was turned into a musical.
They are all over me to give up Brooke's alibi.
Including your friend, Emmett?
Well, he's on the team too.
In more ways than one. Oh, I've seen the way he looks at you.
With this one, it very much so feels like they're putting on voices, not using their own voices.
Well, I could use a friend like that.
I've got a package.
I thought that was Bradley Cooper for a second.
For Miss Paulette Boniface.
I like that the entrance is so much more attention grabbing. You got the big spotlight right there.
The name's Kyle.
Even he has a voice, yeah. That's so far the biggest difference. They're taking an already theatrical movie and turning it up to 10, which I like, because again, it creates an atmosphere of fun. With comedy, it's all about having fun. If you're not having fun, the audience is also not having fun.
Alrighty then.
I do like that they're giving the pauses for the audience as well. It feels like they're involving the audience in the joke, and very much so the audience is part of the humor, versus obviously the film, it's impossible to involve the audience in the joke because there is no audience. It's just like big burly men with cameras. All right, so if you enjoyed this breakdown, then you'll also enjoy this video where I break down Oscar-winning performances in comparison to Razzie-winning performances from the exact same actor.